Hello everyone, myself Shinde Mohini Kisan, Assistant Professor, Department of Horticulture, Sadhguru College of Agriculture, Mirajgaon. Today I am going to explain production technology of important medicinal plants, periwinkle. Periwinkle means Sadafuli. Botanical name Catharanthus roseus. Family Apocynaceae. Origin West Indies. Chromosome number 20 is equal to 16. Plant part use leaves, seeds, roots and flowers. Then importance. Periwinkle is a perennial ornamental herb found throughout the India on westland and sandy tracts. Perennial, periwinkle it can be found throughout the India. It can be found on a wasteland and sandy tracts. It has a medicinal importance owing to the presence of indole alkaloids, ribosine, agmalacin, and serpentine in its root, which have antifebrilic and hypertensive properties. In the roots of periwinkle, possess medicinal properties. The presence of indole alkaloids and serpentines in the roots of a periwinkle. The leaves contain two alkaloids, vinblistine and vincristine, which form the constituent of patented cancer drugs, and vincristine alkaloids are distributed in different parts of the plant, but the root contains the maximum 0.75 to 1.20%, followed by the leaf 0.60 to 0.65%. The leaves of periwinkle contains two alkaloids. The alkaloids mainly vinblistine first one and vincristine second one. Then uses of periwinkle. First one, leaves of periwinkles are used for curing a blood cancer. The leaves of a periwinkle possess medicinal properties, contains alkaloids which are used for a curing of a blood cancer. Second, leaves useful in treating menstrual disorder, diabetes and mellitus. Also leaves are used for curing the useful in treatment of a menstrual disorders, also diabetes and mellitus. Decoction of leaves and roots active on hypertension. Also periwinkle leaves are and roots active on a hypertension. Roots control high blood pressure. Also the roots of a periwinkle used for a high blood pressure. These are uses of a periwinkle. Then botany. It is a perennial herb, often grows in a garden for its pink and white flowers which bloom throughout the year. It bears flexible long branches with simple opposite leaves, flowers 2 to 3 in cymes, axillary and terminal clusters. Fruit is a cylindrical follicle with many black seeds. In a botany, periwinkle is a perennial herb and it having two types of flower color, pink and white flower, which blooming the throughout the year. Then varieties. There are no recognized varieties, but there are three local type based on the color of a flowers. First alba with a white flower, roses with pink rose color flowers, and oscillata with white flowers having a rose purple spot in the center are recognized. There are no recognized varieties of a periwinkle, but three local type based, alba with white flowers, roses with pink rose color flowers, and third one oscillata with white flowers having a rose purple spot in a center. These are varieties of a periwinkle. Then about soil and climatic requirements. The cosmopolitan distribution of the plant shows that it has no specific climatic requirements, means it can a wide adaptability of a climatic conditions. Its natural environments are however tropical and subtropical areas. A well distributed rainfall of 100 cm or more is considered ideal for raising it as a commercial crop under rain-fed conditions. Similarly, it grows on any type of soil except those which are highly alkaline or waterlogged soil. Periwinkle is grown in wide variety of soil except alkaline or waterlogged soil. It grows wide in coastal area, light sandy soil rich in humus are preferred for large scale cultivation of the plant. pH ranges should be up to 8.5. It's all about climatic and soil requirement. It can be grown in wide type of soil and various type of a climate, means tropical and subtropical climate. Then propagation. It can be propagated by seeds. Periwinkles are propagated by seed. Fresh seeds are preferable as they lose viability on a long storage. For the cultivation, fresh seeds are used. That is the first one method, direct sowing method. About 2 to 3 kg seed is required for raising 1 hectare of a land. For 1 hectare of land, seed requirement is 2 to 3 kg. The seeds are mixed with sand about 10 times its weight for even distribution and are sown during beginning of a monsoon. At the time of a beginning of a monsoon, the seeds are sown. And at the time of sowing of a seed, the seeds are mixed with a sand about 10 times its weight for a even distribution. Second, seedling transplanting method. Periwinkle is propagated by seeds. Seed sowing method, seedling transplanting method. Seed rate 500 grams per hectare. The seeds are sown in well prepared beds during month March or April in rows about 1.5 cm deep, covered with light soil and lip mold mixture or water to keep the bed moist. In about 10 days time, the seeds germinate, and in 2 months time, height attains 6 to 7 cm, they become ready for transplanting. First one method we see seed sowing method, direct seed sowing method, and second seedling transplanting method. For transplanting, seed rate 500 grams per hectare. Firstly, we can prepare a beds. In a 10 days time, seeds are germinate, and in 2 months they are ready for transplanting. 200 square meter bed is required for producing seedling for 1 hectare area. Planting. Seedling are transplanted at a spacing of a 45 into 30 centimeter. It's about propagation. It can be propagated by seed, by direct seed sowing method and seed transplanting method. Then next, weeding. The crop requires two weeding. The first one about 60 days after sowing or transplanting, and the second one in another 60 days. Two weedings are followed in a periwinkle plants. The next, irrigation. The plants do not require much water as they have drought resistant capacity. Periwinkle have a capacity to resistant to drought. In areas where rainfall is evenly distributed throughout the year, no irrigation is required, but in areas where monsoon is restricted, 4 to 5 irrigations are required during the life of the plant to get a good yield. Then manuring. They are not generally manured. However, for getting a good yield of both leaves and roots, FIM at about 50 tons per hectare should be applied, and fertilizer mixture nitrogen 20 kg, phosphorus 40 kg and potash 40 kg, means fertilizer dose 20 as 40 as 40 per hectare is applied as a basal dose, and 60 kg nitrogen is further drilled in rows in 3 splits at thinning 90 days and 120 days after planting. Then next, about harvesting. The crop becomes ready for harvest of roots after 1 year. After 1 year of planting, the crop becomes ready for a harvesting of a roots. But two leaf strippings can be taken, the first one after 6 months and the second after 9 months of a sowing. The leaf stripping can be taken first after 6 months and second after 9 months of a sowing. Third stripping of leaves can also be taken when the whole plant is harvested after 1 year. For seed collection, mature fruits are hand picked and dried in shade and threshed lightly. For collection of seed, mature fruits are collected, dried in a shade and threshed lightly for a seed. This method ensures mature seeds with even germination, but the usual practice is to uproot the plants, dry them in and shade, and thereafter thresh lightly for a seed. The seeds obtained by this method are not uniform and their germination is poor. For harvesting of roots, the crop is cut about 7.5 cm above the ground and dried for stem, leaves and seeds. And then the whole field is copiously irrigated and flow and the roots are collected. The roots are washed well and dried in shade and later made into bundles for marketing. Harvesting of roots. For harvesting of roots, crop is cut about 7 cm above the ground and dried for stem, leaves and seeds. Whole field is irrigated and flow and the roots are collected. Then the roots are washed, dried in shade and later made into bundles for marketing. Then yield. Under rainfed condition, about 0.75 tons of roots, 1.0 ton of stem and 2 ton of leaves may be obtained from 1 hectare, but under irrigated condition 1.5 ton each of roots and stem and 3 ton of leaves per hectare can be obtained. under rainfed and under irrigated conditions, variations in a yield. It's all about cultivation practices of a periwinkle.